I am Deacon Sam Dunning. I direct the Office of Justice and Peace and the Catholic Campaign for Human Development for the Archdiocese of Galveston-Houston. I'd like to offer just a few words of reflection in response to the question, what is religious liberty? Religious liberty has often been characterized as the cornerstone of all other liberties. In the declaration of the Second Vatican Council, Dignitas Humanae, we read these emphatic words: "The dignity of the person and the very nature of the quest for God require that all men and women should be free from every constraint in the area of religion." The document continues on until we find this statement that has great marked relevance for our day. Society and the state must not force a person to act against his conscience or prevent him from acting in conformity with it. In our tradition, and within the context of the Church in American society, religious liberty is intimately tied to human dignity in connection with other foundational liberties, such as the freedom of speech, the freedom to assemble, the protection of political liberties. Religious freedom allows people to express themselves, to dialogue with one another, to develop and to grow, and thus contribute to the common good. The limitations of these rights frustrates, and in more severe cases, such as in the persecutions and pogroms that have marred human history, diminishes and denies the human person as fully capable of self-expression. Religious liberty also is essential to the personal and collective quest for God, in that search for a deep and abiding and growing relationship with the divine. To limit this liberty by imposing a particular religious faith or a particular secular philosophy on the individual or any element of society is, in the words of the U.S. Bishops' Ad Hoc Committee on Religious Liberty, egregious. So why is it important for us as Catholics in particular and Americans in general to surface this question of religious liberty? Why is religious liberty so important? As stated in the document, our first most cherished liberty, while religious liberty is not only for Americans, we do regard it today as our special inheritance. Such a liberty was fought at a great price, and it is a heritage of which we today are stewards. But we're not stewards for only ourselves, but for all the nations and people who strive for religious freedom. If we allow it to be eroded today, religious liberty will be threatened in greater measure tomorrow. Sometimes a line must be drawn and the political struggle enjoined to preserve and protect this liberty. Many of our bishops have argued now is that time. Further, it is important to recall that what we are talking about is not only the freedom to worship, but the current issues we are facing have much to do with our fundamental rights as citizens who happen to be Catholic to contribute to the common good. As the bishops cite in our first most cherished liberty, the critical issue, the crux of the matter, is whether the government can force people of faith as individuals or within institutions to act against their conscience. They also decry the manner in which some states have criminalized our pastoral and material assistance to undocumented immigrants, the limitations on the manner in which our Catholic charities offer foster care, and the rights of students to assemble explicitly as Catholics, among other limitations on our ability to contribute to the common good. No, this is not only about freedom to worship, which is of course important, but also about our ability to serve with all the ideas and experiences and actions that we muster every day as Catholics to serve those most in need. This is not for us a contest to be selfish and self-serving, but a contest to be allowed to continue to be selfless and servants to others. And it is also not only about Catholics. As the bishops emphasize, this is not a Catholic issue. This is not a Jewish issue. This is not an Orthodox, Mormon, or Muslim issue. This is an American issue. For it is clear that if the rights of one religious group can be curtailed today, then the rights of all other religious groups can be curtailed sometime in the future. In the coming days, we're called to pray, reflect, and study, and then to act in the cause of religious liberty, but to do so out of love, not hate, to offer up words of conciliation, not rancor. We live in a great nation that has, is, and will continue to offer much to the world. But much of what makes this nation so great is a result of so many individuals, movements, organizations, and institutions that have championed the cause of human rights, promoted human dignity, and sought to preserve and expand opportunity, especially for those most in need. Today, we're called in this time of political contention to remind all that so often at the forefront of these efforts that have contributed so much to the common good were people of faith. Now, more than ever in hard times, we as people of faith should be encouraged by public policy, not discouraged, given greater freedom, not less, to advance the causes of justice and mercy, compassion and love in and throughout our society. Thank you.